I always said that when I started this channel, I would be as transparent as possible. I would show the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you are about to see one fugly week. Okay, looks like I had a ABS sensor go out. Yeah, so I'm on my way to Reno anyway, and then I gotta do a reset. So while I'm in Reno, pretty much gonna take it to the yard and have the mechanics look at it. So let's do that. Yeah, okay, so had all the lights turn on, brought it into the Reno shop. So brought it in there Sunday night, woke up the next day, went into the shop, had them take a look at it. They were not able to fix it. So apparently the ABS module is not connecting to the front radar, and the front radar is not connecting to anything. So there's some computer issue going on. So we brought it over to the Freightliner shop right now, and that's where we are right now. And they're gonna have a look at it. Hopefully they're able to fix it, and hopefully it doesn't cost too much, but we'll find out. So let's see how that goes. All right, so it's a couple days later. We are out of the shop now, and they supposedly fixed it. So brought it in on, I think it was Tuesday. Well, I brought it in Monday actually, because the mechanics at the iron maintenance shop couldn't figure it out. So I brought it to the Freightliner shop on Monday. They started working on it Tuesday. So I started working on it Tuesday. They were doing some things here and there. They concluded that it was the V4 which was causing all the issues. Now, if you remember from one of my earlier episodes, I had already replaced the V4, so the fact that they're saying it's the V4 means one of two things. Either I keep blowing V4s, so there's some other underlying issue, or they're just not correct. And it's not the V4. And I'm leaning towards it is not the V4, because the V4, I don't see how, I mean, it could affect the ABS, but that doesn't seem right. And I'm not confident at all. But there's not much I can do. That's what they're diagnosing it as. So they're going to replace the V4. Well, they said to replace the V4. They were going to order the part, but they had to order it from like Tennessee or something like that. It was going to be 3 days. So I called up the lease coordinator, and he said, yeah, just bring it over to the iron maintenance shop. We could throw a new V4 in it. So that's what I did. But prior to that, though, they ended up doing some warranty service on it. It was free. But it was really annoying, actually, because they did the warranty service. They started on it at the end of the day, and as a result, I couldn't sleep in it, so I had to go get a hotel for like $150. So that was actually very annoying. I wish they hadn't have done that. I didn't ask them to do that, and they just started doing it, and then I had to go get a hotel. So that was kind of annoying. But other than that, okay, so we got out of there the next day, brought it to the iron maintenance shop. They replaced the V4. All the lights did turn off, but I think that was mostly because they had just cleared the codes and everything and done a bunch of work on it, so it just kind of reset everything. And I'm just not confident that fixed it. At this point, I'm basically very confident it was just an ABS module sensor that blew out, because I had this problem before in one of the other Freightliners when I was a company driver, and it was just, they just need to replace the little ABS sensor in there, and that fixed it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but all I can do is kind of follow their advice, I guess. So I'm going to replace the V4 again, and that's where we're at. Yeah, so they replaced the V4 at the Iron Main shop. Took like 2 hours or something like that to get it all activated and everything. Then after that, we were ready to go. The lights did turn off. We'll see if they stay off. And then we got dispatched on another one picking up in Minden, Nevada, which is just down the road. And we're headed to Las Vegas, Nevada. So let's go. Okay, so we dropped the load in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then after we got dropped that load, we got dispatched on another one picking up in Las Vegas, Nevada, and headed to Red Bluff, California. Lights have not come on, so that's good, but we'll see if it holds. But in the meantime, we're headed to Red Bluff, California. So let's go. So after the Red Bluff, California load, we got dispatched on another one picking up in Willows, California, and headed to Paris, California. However, that load is not going to make the paycheck, so it's spreadsheet time. For week 14, we did 3 loads, and in those 3 loads, we got 1,700 miles, and we were paid a total of $2,764 for an average of $1.63 per mile. Fuel expenses, we fueled up 3 times, and in those 3 times, we paid $913 for an average of 54 cents per mile. Maintenance expenses, we had 3 maintenance expenses for $1,305 for an average of 77 cents per mile. Other expenses, MRP $130, Qualcomm $13, Bobtail $692, physical damage $69, occupational accident policy $34, permits $42, pre-pass $350, truck payment $450, scales $1350, fuel mile tax $51, security deposit $100, and the hotel for $143, for a total of $1,058 for an average of 62 cents per mile. Weekly totals, so expenses were $3,277 for an average of $1.93 per mile. Total revenue was $2,764 for an average of $1.63 per mile. That brings our net settlement to minus $512.99 for an average of negative 30 cents per mile. Total since starting the program, we have driven a total of 30,910 miles. Our expenses were $33,361 for an average of $1.08 per mile, and that is my cost per mile right there. Total revenue was $52,856 for an average of $1.71 per mile. Total cash flow was $19,495 for an average of 63 cents per mile, and if you minus the lease security deposit, it goes up to 70 cents per mile. If I had been a company driver during this period, I would have made $16,691 at 54 cents per mile. And if I had been an owner-operator who owned his truck outright, I would have made $26,095 for an average of 84 cents per mile. Averages and other information. So average weekly paycheck is $1,392. We are averaging 2,208 miles per week. Total fuel costs were $17,523 for an average of 57 cents per mile. Total maintenance costs were $3,293 for an average of 11 cents per mile. If we kept this up for a 52-week period, we'd make $72,410 and drive a total of 114,000 miles. We've been employed 98 days, or 14 weeks, taking 12 days off, 86 days on duty, taking 56 total loads, and the average load length is 552 miles. Okay, so we're going to get into the weekly company pay versus weekly lease pay volatility graph. This just shows volatility of a company driver versus a lease driver. And pretty much 2 notable weeks here. It's pretty much the same, more or less, except for this week where I had just a bonanza week where I made like $5,000. And of course, this week right here where I in fact lost money. So, as a lease driver or an owner operator, you will probably lose money every so often. And this week I lost money. So that's just the way it is. And I think if you own any business or you're running any business, some weeks you just will have a week where you lose money. Whether you're a truck driver or maybe you own a restaurant or whatever, some weeks you will lose money. And if you're not prepared for that, well, I guess just keep company driving, because a company driver never really going to lose money like I did this week. Okay, so now we're going to get into total company pay versus total lease pay graph. This just shows total pay in aggregate. And as you can see, lease operator is making a little bit more money than a company driver, and was parallel more or less. And you can see it'll kind of give you the each week right there in aggregate if you scroll over it like that. But yeah, lease operator was making a little bit more, consistently more, and still is. But as you can see, the gap closed quite significantly this week with this loss. So, just a visual representation of the pay here. Yeah, just compares total company pay versus total lease pay in aggregate over time. And the last data point right there, 1916, is also right there, 19,495, 16,691. That is the last data point right there. And this just shows total company pay versus total lease pay in aggregate. And yeah, should be useful information for you. Okay, so let's just talk about the maintenance expenses here. So this is obviously, killing the week right here. So this is what I was charged by Night Transportation. It didn't send me a breakdown, so I'm not sure what the Freightliner shop charged. I'm not sure what the Iron Maintenance shop in Reno charged, and I'm not sure what Night covered. I'm gonna ask for a breakdown just so I can show you guys like what exactly was covered and was not covered. But as of right now, when I got paid, this is what was deducted from my check, and that's what they charge. This should be both the Iron Maintenance shop and the Freightliner shop and everything. So that's what they charge. And I'll get a breakdown later for you guys, but as of right now, that's what I know. That's what got charged. So yeah, obviously that's going to kill the week, and it most certainly did kill the week. And that's just sort of owning a truck or owning any business, is you will lose money some weeks, and that sucks. And you guys can be the judge of whether it's worth it or not. I'm just sort of posting the numbers here. But that is week 14, had a maintenance expense, and I ended up losing $512 this week for negative 30 cents, and that certainly dipped that down, I think 5 cents per mile actually from last week. So pretty significant week, pretty relevant week here. And yeah, so my overall maintenance expense is 11 cents per mile right now, which is pretty normal. I mean, normally you'd get, I think most people account for like 10 to 15 cents per mile, and I'm currently running 11 cents per mile, which is okay, pretty normal. So not the maintenance expenses so far haven't been totally out of the ordinary, I would think. I did expect Night to cover more of this, to be honest, and I don't know, I got to call him about that because I feel like this is high. But we'll see. But that's what I got charged. We'll see if they maybe haven't just yet refunded some of it. I'm not 100% sure. But as of right now, that's what I got charged, and this is the paycheck. And yeah, pretty crappy week. Okay, yeah, so there is week 14. Very crappy week. Not much more to say. Had maintenance expense, took like 3 days off to fix it. And yeah, just a very crappy week. And I don't think this is unique to a lease operator, by the way. I mean, if you're an owner-operator and you have a maintenance expense, it's going to be the same thing, right? I mean, it's going to happen. So my opinion here is, this is just sort of part of running a business, whether it's a trucking business, whether it's like a restaurant business or whatever. Some weeks you will lose money, especially when you have like maintenance expenses like this, like random maintenance expenses like this. So it sucks, but I'm sure you guys will, you can be the judge of whether all of this is worth it or not. Again, I'm just posting the numbers here. I'm not bragging or anything, just posting the numbers for you guys to be the judge as transparently as I possibly can. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is fugly. That's a fugly week. And there's not much more to say. But I'm sure you guys will let me know what you think in the comments section. And I can't wait to read these ones. But that will do for this episode. If you were interested in truck driving, there is a link in the comments section down below. Just click that link, fill out your information, and Drive Recruiter will get a hold of you. And if you are interested in this spreadsheet or any of the other spreadsheets I've done in the past, they are available in the About section. Just scroll down, you can click on them, view them, and then if you want to download them and use them, just hit File, Download here. You might have to have a Google account to do that, and after you download them, you can use them however you want, and feel free to do so. But that'll do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.